Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan Lara, and here basically we are going to talk about the Congress Party. Congress Party basically they has created, they is creating, they basically haven't have created, and they are basically on creation. Basically, you can say like Bollywood group. Basically, they have created a BJP. They have created. Sports basically. In sports basically they have many weapons like cricket is there. Cricket is one of the dangerous weapon basically. I have taken the one example of cricket also, how basically they use cricket. Example basically I have given in the previous video. Basically I have given the example of how basically the negative positive money basically are collected in the cricket. And this basically cricket basically is in on the name of basically Indian Prime Minister basically, that is Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi stadium is also there. So basically everything is happening legally. So you can just imagine the basically the Congress are doing each and everything very legally. I will take one example. Cricket basically lots of monies basically are collected. Assume that one task is supposed to be happen, that task basically is going to happen, and that for that task basically monies has to be collected. And for that money basically one cricket match basically was organized. Assume that in one world, the world cup is ongoing. In this world cup basically one task has to be done. Assume that is negative and assume that is positive also. So for that basically money has to be collected, so they basically done the advertising. So the advertising team basically, that are basically 100% Bollywood group, that are basically very old Bollywood group person basically. We will take as an example as Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan. Assume that because these people are very old, right? Not Jawan, old. So like this basically, these people basically do the advertising that this all basically monies are basically has to be collected for this particular task. Assume that that task is negative and positive also. So for that basically big businessman basically comes into the picture and they do the advertising. Like this the match starts and like this basically the money gets collected. And after certain but cricket is basically not a legal money, right? It's a black money in front of the world, and name of the stadium is also Narendra Modi. So just you see the how the cricket is getting handled. This is basically, you can say, everything is handling very legally. If prime minister name is getting used, then basically you can just imagine up to what level the cricket is. So here basically we are seeing that how the cricket are basically getting handled. So monies are collected, and then that money basically has to be done white, right? So for that basically the stock exchanges, that is basically NSE, National Stock Exchange, and BSE, that is Bombay Stock Exchange, and that is basically connected with the whole world stock exchange. First, USA basically stock exchange gets into the picture, and then basically the Bombay Stock Exchange. So then basically the money gets white with the help of the Bombay Stock Exchange. Here basically the chartered accountant group basically comes into the picture, because it's a huge big calculation basically, you can say, because that money has to be converted into the mutual fund. Lots of basically funds are there, and the lots of shares basically gets activate. Then basically they close their stock shares and stock and mutual funds, and then lots of thing basically gets closed. But everything is recorded, that is the main thing. Each and everything basically gets recorded, because businessman says that we want the proof that our money has been basically came from cricket. And then because BCCI is there, BCCI basically says that we also need the money. So for that they also basically takes the money, certain commission amount basically they takes, because everything has to be legal. How many money basically is getting collected by the cricket? Like this, Bombay Stock Exchange, NSE basically collects the mutual money in the form of the new mutual fund, and then basically stocks basically are shares are there. Like this, each and everything basically are collected, and then basically they close each and every black money came from the cricket. They close the balance sheet, and then basically they open the new balance sheet, that is basically the white money, where the money is really going to be invested. Like this, basically they collect the black money, converts into the white, and then basically Bombay Stock Exchange say that we are white, we are not doing any illegal task basically. We are not in this. Basically government is by default directly involved. Why? Because Narendra Modi Prime Minister stadium is there on the name of Prime Minister. The stadium has already opened, and there basically this all cricket basically is getting played. So you can just imagine. You can't actually imagine. We can't imagine also that this type of things are basically happening. That also BCCA, that is basically United Kingdom basically, you can say. United Kingdom basically, it's a very old, right? So this cricket is very old. The system is also very old basically, you can say. So like this the money basically gets collected. So this is basically the best example of cricket basically, what actually the cricket is. So here basically we are not discussing what actually cricket is, but we have discussed the cricket. So here, so this cricket basically also basically has introduced by the Congress party, because if any, so this is the biggest weapon basically, you can say. This is also getting used as a weapon. So sports basically automatically converted into the one weapon basically, you can say. Lots of people says that cricket is actually very nice, very nice sports, but it's very dangerous, because negative task also is going to happen. That money is also collected by the cricket team only, and that also basically within the police custody basically. Police only gives the security to the cricketers. So in this by default police are also involved. So basically you can't nobody is going to say that this cricket is basically doing this all negative and positive task. Why? Because the government is involved in this. The police government is involved, army is involved, because army only gives the security to the sports people. So you can just imagine basically up to what level the cricket is also connected. So this is the one of the weapon basically which is getting used by the Congress party. But they are white. Why? Because the stadium is of in the name of Narendra Damodar Modi. So he is BJP. So BJP is also one of the weapon basically which was created by the Congress party. So I will take one more example of the weapon. One person told that Congress party told that we want to rule the United States of America. So can we rule it? So he told that yeah, basically we can rule, but it's very difficult because they are very clean and white basically. Then one person told that no, they are not clean. Why? Because the each and every software basically of the cricket, which money is getting collected, that are created by the USA only. One of the USA software company has created that. Oh yes, then it's not clean. But in front of the world, they are clean. So in front of the world, basically everything is clean. Then basically they are doing whatever. That's their stuff basically. So here basically they told that we want to rule the USA, that is basically United States of America. So what is the option basically? So few Congress Presidents Advisory Group basically told that we can do one thing. We can place one. We just want to rule, right? So president rule is the USA rule. So they told that we can have one president in USA, and then basically we can rule. But how basically we can have a president? For that basically we need one human, right? So for that basically they told that we want that type of human who can handle, who can control, we can control him. So for that, basically they created one human clone, and they placed that human clone in the United States of America, and they had created a few stories also. He basically born from there. He basically studied there. Like this, they had done the advertising also. So basically, even basically USA basically see that advertising, then basically say, yeah, basically he has done the study there. If they are doing the advertising, and if anybody is doing the inquiry that if this person has done study in this college, then basically the college people says that yeah, basically he has done the study. Why? Because they have given the money that this person is inquiries. If any inquiry comes, then basically you have to tell like this. So like this, basically the United States of America president human clone basically has created and done the advertising also. So you can just imagine the ruling system, basically how they rules. So they basically got the control, and they basically assume that one of the software company, IBM, or assume that some Capgemini or some Accenture company basically got the control of that human clone. So they, whatever things basically they want to tell, they want to do, they basically do from that computer, because it's a human clone. Human clone means is getting control. Human clone is created by the computer chemical materials basically. So like this, basically they control the USA also. Like this is also one of the achievement of Congress party, but they never forgive anything. Here basically we are talking about the Indira Gandhi murder case. So how the basically they have assume that one person basically was responsible for the Indira Gandhi's murder. So their security guard only basically. So now basically their security guard only basically. Security guard means their friends, their relatives. They only started killing that particular person. Up to that level, basically they done the well. For example, one person is searching for job, and he basically calling one person for his old friends, and they are telling that no, basically we don't have the job, we don't have the job, we don't have the job. And he's basically calling his relatives, and they're also basically that relatives are also telling them we don't have the job, we don't have the job. Like this, basically their own security guard basically are killing that particular boy. Like this, basically, for example, he's having tea in the tea stall. Then basically somebody is calling that tea stall owner and telling that give poison to that tea. One person, for example, he's having some pulao from restaurant. Then somebody informed that that person is eating pulao, is has ordered the pulao, can you please do something. Then their security guard basically comes into the restaurant and tells that he that pulao basically is having some poison, put some poison into that, and let that person basically eat the poison also. Like this, basically that person basically was having poison in pulao. So we will be having next video same basically the achievement of Congress party and up to what level they takes the badala.